guys, it's Madeline with My Vocal Journey, and today we're going to actually talk about my vocal journey. A few asked what my experience is with singing, and I thought it would be a great idea to share. So today I'm a professional singer and vocal coach, but I started out growing up singing as a part of my culture, and both of my parents love music, and I thank both of them for giving me that gift because music just seemed like another language that I was learning when I was growing up. And so singing at home, singing in church, singing in school just felt natural and for the most part comfortable. And I thought I could do just about most of what I wanted to do singing without a lot of technique until I couldn't, which is what always happens. And so as time went on, when I went to college, it wasn't practical theoretically to study music, so I didn't, but there was always this yearning. So what I did was, after I was working in a cubicle in Arlington in my 20s in the finance department for the Nature Conservancy, which was a wonderful job, I had been invited by a friend to go to Brazil for a carnival for a couple of weeks. I did, and needless to say, beyond the attraction of that culture itself for me and its music, I decided that now was the time or never to gift myself a year to go live by the ocean and go back and study music. So I studied voice, music theory, ear training, and a lot of percussion actually, as well as Portuguese when I was in Brazil, sort of intensively. And I was singing a lot of different styles. I was learning bossa nova and samba and other regional rhythms and singing some jazz at an American jazz club there and learning some Afro-Peruvian styles. And I got into vocal trouble actually. It all accumulated, and I now kind of know how to dissect it technically with what happened. But I also started teaching English in a school in which my classroom management skills were pessimo, and I completely yelled at the middle schoolers all day long, and then went to rehearsals and either screamed or sang softly. And although I was taking voice lessons, I didn't feel like I really had a handle on it. I feel like the teachers, I loved my teachers at the time, but I was never really explained why I was doing certain techniques. I just learned different vocal exercises. I did them. I sometimes warmed up and started to really abuse my voice, actually, long end of the story. But so Berto and I, who's now my husband, we met. That year I gifted to myself turned into 3, by the way. We spent 6 of those months in Turkey playing at resorts, just changing resorts every 2 days. And that started to become an intense strain actually for me vocally because I wasn't really strong enough technically. It was styles. I was singing in Portuguese and Spanish and in English. So you're adding other elements on that I have to think about without having strong technique in my body. And needless to say, I started drinking whiskey before my gigs because I could barely deal physically and psychologically with thinking that I was ruining my voice. I don't suggest that to anyone, but you're here to learn from the journey. So when I got back, I went to a doctor and was told that I had vocal nodes, and so I went to a speech therapist and luckily was able to get rid of that problem. So we moved to the United States after the 3 years that I was there and started gigging here, and I was singing out as a duo and then as a larger band. And again, I started to worry about my voice. I was also teaching in the school system, teaching English for speakers of other languages. And I had that inkling of, despite the fact that I'd had vocal training, that I just wasn't there with my technique and that at some point I probably wasn't going to be able to do everything I wanted to do. So a friend had invited me to a classical voice recital one day, and I went. And despite the fact that it wasn't the style of music that I wanted to sing, I very much understood that these were the athletes of voice, that I needed to know what they knew about breath, if nothing else. So I started studying pretty intensely a particular style of classical voice technique. And so now I combine that classical technique with some more contemporary styles, because what I sing now is I still sing, my husband and I have a band, Beleza. We combine Brazilian, samba, samba funk, bossa nova, other regional styles with things like jazz and soul and blues. And we have that going, but we also recently joined our friend's wedding band. And so that is a genre bouncing, decade covering band. And I was intimidated actually by it. I thought this will be fun, but whoa, did I really just sign up for trying to sing like Aretha Franklin and Cyndi Lauper and Madonna and Beyonce and Taylor Swift and Katy Perry all at the same time? Because we all know that those are actually very different vocalists. But I thought, if anything will save me, it will be the technique. And I'm here to say, it actually has. I've felt I have to work on the songs, which is actually my strongest lesson, and the lesson that I try to impart to my students is that your capacity to grow as a vocalist it's really limitless. It's fun to keep trying new things. There are absolutely styles that fit within our voices much more comfortably than others. But if you strategize, also, hopefully if you're working professionally, you can also have the song in the key that works best with your voice. Even still, there are going to be challenges within each piece. So if you have strong enough technique and you break it down and chunk it and know what you're going to do when you get to those challenging sections, it is like day and night. It's the difference between just gambling, crossing your fingers and wishing for the stars, and saying, I got this. Not my easiest, but I've got this. So I'd love to hear about anyone else's journey, any past, current struggles that you're having, and or success, particularly success stories, any questions that you have. I do come out with vocal technique and other musings weekly, either on my blog at myvocaljourney.com or here on the YouTube channel. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode. Onward, beautiful singers!